Hello everybody, my name is Lilian Umina, your clinical nutritionist, and as I promised earlier, I am going to do a pregnancy and nutrition series on how to take care of yourself if you discover you're pregnant today. First things, before I start, if you're not pregnant and you're planning on getting pregnant, kindly start on prenatals as early as 3 months or 6 months before the time you're anticipating to conceive. Why would I say this? So that you load up on your micronutrients, the iron and the folate, to make sure that you have enough supplies to prepare your body for the upcoming task, which is carrying a baby, nurturing it and taking care of it, and also the delivery process, which is not so easy either. So what is pregnancy? Pregnancy is basically a woman conceiving and carrying a baby. It can be basically being your eggs being fertilized. Once your eggs are fertilized, you're termed as pregnant. So how does this affect your nutrition status? First, pregnancy comes with a lot of changes. Apart from the body changes that we are all aware of, there is a lot of hormonal changes that comes with pregnancy. There's the increase in estrogen and progesterone. These two hormones, and also the HCG, the hormones are all over when you're pregnant. Most can favor you. In most times, pregnancy favors women, but again, it can come up with other issues that will not be so interesting, like maybe skincare issues. Like it can come with a lot of metabolic complications like nausea, vomiting, and so forth and so forth. So one thing you're supposed to understand is that it's not rare that you're undergoing these processes, and it's very, very normal, and it will come to pass. That is the first thing that you need to understand. So what are some of the things that I would recommend a pregnant woman to do as a nutritionist? First things first, take your prenatals. You cannot afford to miss your prenatals. The minute you discover you're pregnant, the minute that test confirms that you're actually pregnant, the positive test, if you are not planned for the pregnancy, like it's the case for like 90% of women, if you are not planned for the pregnancy, the minute you test and you confirm positive and you decide, okay, I'm going to carry this baby to term, you need to go and sit down, go to your either gynecologist, or go to your nutritionist, or go to your healthcare professional and tell them, I need prenatals because I am pregnant and I need to take care of my baby. Why? Because when you're pregnant, your iron and folate levels really go high, because you need a lot of blood. There's a lot of cell division that is coming about. You're using too much of these two micronutrients that actually you need them. So, and then the body, the diet that you take, if a very small percentage of women are able to meet their dietary needs when pregnant through diet. How you combine your meals, what meals you're eating, how frequent you're eating, and the density of the meals that you're taking in. A very small percentage can be able to meet the dietary requirements for a pregnant mother when through normal diet. That is why we recommend that once you realize you're pregnant, you start your prenatals ASAP, and then you also start your calcium. Calcium is very important because it is when the conception, after conception, you start now building. Calcium is the building. It builds the spinal cord, it builds the muscle, the bones, not the muscular, the bones. It builds on the joints. Calcium is the most abundant nutrient in your body, so you actually need it, and so does the baby. So if your stores go down, you will be affected as the woman first. You will start losing your teeth, you will lose your nails, you will lose your hair, you'll break out a lot. So you need to make sure that you take in enough calcium. Also, you can take up if you're allergic to dairy, you have to supplement the calcium. If you're not allergic to dairy, you can increase your dairy intake when you're pregnant. You can also take fish. You can take sardines or omena. You can take certain legumes. They have very good concentrations of calcium. They are very, very healthy, and they're very nutritious too. And another thing, on the macros, and the most important macros when you're pregnant are basically those three. We have folate, we have iron, we have calcium. There are others like magnesium. You need it. You need the vitamins A, D, and K. You need all the micronutrients, yes. But there are some which are needed in higher amounts than others, and there are some which meeting their dietary requirements is not so easy. That is why it is necessary for you to supplement. And as I've said, they are the common three, which is B12. Folate, iron, calcium. Also the B vitamins. They're very, very necessary. And then number 2. Now that is on the prenatal and the first thing that you discover when you're pregnant. So how does pregnancy affect nutrition? Pregnancy affects how you take food. First, it changes your taste bud, it changes your preference, and it changes how you look at food. Some women will get serious cravings. Someone will crave weird combination of foods, like someone would want maybe ice cream and something like chicken. Yeah, it's common when you're pregnant. Weird combinations of food, and they'll appear appealing to them, and we don't blame them. It is okay, and it is not your fault. It is the hormones that is working for you. So you have to to feel it. So once you feel it, how can you control this? You can try to spice up your cravings and make it as healthy as you can possibly do. If you're craving something so sugary, just make sure you don't do it so sugary. Just limit the sugars kidogo and make sure it's healthy. I know it's not easy. It's not easy at all, but it is possible. You can just work towards making sure that your cravings are healthier. And then other women, apart from cravings, other women dislike certain foods, like someone will not even want to get near meat, someone will not even want to get near fish, someone will not even want to get near any other, like maybe beans or vegetables. And again, what happens when you're not wanting to take this and you need them? Because first thing first, pregnancy, your protein needs are so super high. So what happens when your pregnancy does not like, it's called food aversions, does not like meat? Where do you get your protein source? You can supplement, or you can alternate. You can alternate and make sure that you diversify your other sources of protein. If you don't do meat, hopefully you can do chicken, hopefully you can do fish, hopefully you can do lentils, and you can do any other, like there's other sources of protein. If you cannot do that, kindly, you can also do a protein supplement. It will not harm you, and it will be beneficial to you if you cannot meet the dietary requirements from the diet. And then the other thing that pregnancy does, the changing levels of hormones, they can bring about change in the digestion system. You can experience constipation, or you can experience diarrhea. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will, but you can. Don't panic, it's very normal. So when you get constipated, what do? You increase your vegetable intake. When you're pregnant, you want to avoid raw veggies as much as you can, because you want to avoid the chances of you getting any sort of infection, or anything that will trigger diarrhea in your tummy, because you don't want to lose, again, you're stocking up nutrients for both you and the baby. The one thing you don't want a scenario whereby you're losing nutrients, or you're not absorbing as well as you're supposed to be. So when you're constipated, love your fermented foods. If you can get a good probiotic, please do. It is very, very necessary to eat for digestion, and so is it during pregnancy. So you can do your probiotic supplement, or you can increase your intake of fermented foods, so that this will take care of both either you're having diarrhea or you're constipating. So you love your fermented. You can ferment even cabbage. Yeah, you can ferment cabbage, you can ferment carrots, you can ferment porridge, you can ferment milk, all this. Make sure that the process is safe, and it does not allow for growth of the bad bacteria. So you just make sure you're trying to reach there. You don't contaminate it, you don't make it unsafe. If you can, that will be great. So increase your intake of fermented foods to aid in digestion. Also, make sure you increase your water intake. You have to drink water. You need to drink water when you're pregnant. Your water intake doubles. So if you're taking 2 liters before pregnancy, you need to be doing at least 4 to 5 liters, so that you take care of that increasing needs of the, maybe you need to transport oxygen, so the blood needs to be working very, very, very well. You need, your metabolism is also altered, it's either increased or lowered. The water needs to be there. You need to you're eliminating toxins for 2. You're doing everything. The excretion process is for 2. The metabolic process is for 2. So you need water. You need water. So you need to drink water. You cannot be pregnant and you're not taking water. You also need to hydrate well to maintain your levels of blood visibly. So just make sure you're taking water. So another way that pregnancy affects nutrition is the increase in macronutrient macros, as are the macronutrient demands. Now you're pregnant, your cells are actively dividing, your blood is rapidly flowing, everything in your system is working faster than before. So what this means, it means like the macronutrient, that is protein, which is involved in the cell synthesis, cell division and cell renewal, is needed in very, very high amounts. You will need an average of, on a normal intake, someone will need like 1.5, maybe a 1.5, maybe you need like, if you're normal and you're active, you need an average of 1 grams per kg body weight of protein a day, or 0.8 to 1.2. That will be ideal. If you're active, maybe it can go up to 1.5 if you're normal and you're not pregnant. Now when you get to pregnant, your protein needs become high. So your diet has to be incorporated with a high protein one. You have to be taking a high protein diet. A high protein diet means like a protein like that can be achieved by making sure that you have protein in every meal, every snack, everything that you're taking apart from water. You have like a small source of protein. Maybe when you're taking in the morning, when you wake up, you can do maybe milk, tea with milk, or you can do, we tend to tell women to reduce on caffeine, teas and such, so that if you're taking tea, don't overdo it. You can supplement, you can substitute with chocolate or Milo, or you can also limit the amount of carbs you're taking. So tea with milk in the morning will be very okay. Tea with milk, and then you do your slices of bread. You can add peanut butter, you can add an avocado, you can add the protein based snack, you can add nuts, all those to your breakfast. Then do your lunch. You can do maybe rice and lentils, and you also do your veggies, and also you can add maybe avocado, you can add to nuts. It never harms anyone. And also you will also need, when you're doing your snack, make sure you're snacking also. When you're snacking, maybe you're doing a cup of OJ or maybe anything, or a samosa. Just make sure there's like a source of protein somewhere. Just make sure you're doing protein somewhere, so that you meet the increase in demand in your body. It is very, very necessary to avoid you losing muscle and you catabolizing when you're pregnant. It is not advisable. Then your energy demands also go high. Your cells, your mitochondria is working as fast as it's working super fast, because you also need energy. Your brain needs extra energy to take care of yourself and your growing baby. So what you need to do is make sure that, I'm not saying you increase your calories excess, but you need to increase, to make sure that you're taking your carbohydrates, your healthy carbohydrates, adequate amount. This is not the time to fast. When you're pregnant, avoid fast as much as you can. Don't, even the Bible does not allow pregnant women to fast. So please don't fast when you're pregnant. Don't start a weight loss journey when you're pregnant. Don't start doing detox teas when you're pregnant. Don't do slimming teas when you're pregnant. Don't do anything that is going to detoxify you when you're pregnant. Water is enough, and enough vegetables is enough. So just do water, do your vegetables, and that will be good. So how will you make sure that you take when you're pregnant? Some people love fries, some people love cakes, which is okay. You need to satisfy your cravings so that you sleep well, because again, I understand that it can be very, very stressful when your cravings are not satisfied, but again, make sure you control them. If you have to have cake, make sure you're having whole grain cakes. You can add oats to your cakes. You can add something like, you can reduce sugar to your baking, or you can just select healthier options. So make sure that the carbohydrates that you're taking are whole grains. You can do ugali ya kusiaga, yeah, we call it that. It's the whole grain ugali. You can do whole grain wheats. You can do maize. You can do githeri. You can do something like the rice, not too much of the processed carbohydrates too, but anyway, make sure you're having your energy feeds. And then fats, moderation. Again, you don't need so much fat when you're pregnant. You need enough to cushion you, but not excess. Just so the moderation, we continue with moderation of the fats and the carbs, but protein, it has to be high. So your meals have to be high protein. And then how else does pregnancy affect nutrition? Yeah, we've talked about aversion, so you might not want certain foods. We've also talked about the macronutrients needs. Let me just check anything that I might have left. I wrote some things down. So, so a point to take home. The increasing in needs about the weight gain. The weight. So when you're pregnant, you will tend to, you'll gain weight. It's very normal, very, very normal to gain weight. So in the first trimester, you'll discover that the weight gain might not be so significant. It might just be up to maybe 1.5 to 2 kgs, which is okay. It's small, it's minimal. Most people are not even ready to tell the world that they are pregnant, so it's quite, the body is cooperating with that, so it's okay. So the first month you need an increase of roughly maybe like on your normal intake. I think even this is enough. The normal dietary intake that you're taking is adequate, provided you're taking a well-balanced diet. You don't need to increase so much in your first trimester. Now something comes in when you start now. The active cells division, the baby now has already. The baby has settled in. Now he or she is actively growing, like the cells are actively dividing. Now you'll need to increase your daily intake. So the second trimester, now you need to increase to up to 350. You can increase it from 250 kilocalories per day to 350 kcals a day. So this translates to around one healthy snack. So if you're taking 3 meals now in the second trimester, you can add 1 extra meal. You can add 1 extra healthy snack, and you make sure again to continue with hydration. And then the third trimester is whereby the weight gain is needed, because the baby has grown and they are still growing. So you need to accommodate all that energy. You need to accommodate all that space. So you need up to 500 kcals a day. So an increment of, if you are healthier, if you are on the healthy borderline, whereby your BMI was between 18.5 to 24.9, let's say as a normal woman will do 1800 to 22 kcals a day, 2200 kcals a day. So on the third trimester, you're supposed to be doing at least 2300 to 2800 kcals a day. This is the average if you're within that BMI 24 and 18, 2300 or in the third trimester. So this means it is necessary for you to take in enough. It is very necessary. We don't want to do, again, one thing we don't want to do, it is very easy for you to overdo it when you're pregnant, because again there's the cravings, then there's the society mantra that a pregnant woman should just eat. No, there's a limit on, there's always that's why you're told to go to a clinic once you discover you're pregnant, so that you're given the borderlines of the weight gain and the weight gain that you're supposed to gain when you're pregnant. But again, when you're pregnant, you're usually told the scale should be the least of your worries. you need to worry about how the baby is growing, how your body is retaining fluids, how it's balancing them all. That is another thing that also you need calcium for, and the protein too. So how the body is managing all this, because these are necessary indicators for a healthy pregnancy. So you need to, those are the things that you can worry you a bit. But again, something like the scale that you've gotten 5 kgs above the normal dietary, like the normal range, should not worry you so much. If you're not overweight, if you're not above the shred by so much, you should not be worried. Provided your baby is okay and you're okay, it is good. So I wrote down the kgs that you're supposed to be gaining when you're pregnant. And if you're underweight, that is if your BMI is 18.5, you're supposed to gain a minimum of 9 kgs to 18 kgs. So the minimum you're supposed to gain is 9 kgs. So you're not supposed to gain like anything less than 9 kgs if your BMI is 18.5, to be effectively be able to accommodate this baby without any complications. So if you started with, let's say your BMI is 18.5 and your actual weight was 54, when you started, the minimum weight gain you're supposed to deliver with is roughly 54 plus 9, 63. Yeah, that is the minimum weight that you're supposed to deliver at 63, and the maximum that you're supposed to deliver at is 272. So you're supposed to gain 9 to 18 kgs. If you got pregnant when you were underweight. If you got pregnant when you were in the normal range which is the 18.5 to 24.9 BMI, you need to gain a minimum of 11 kgs and a maximum of 16 kgs. So you're not supposed to go beyond 16 kgs if you were the normal average, and it is very possible if you take up healthy balanced meals. Very, very possible. If you are overweight when you got pregnant, that is a BMI of 25 to 29.9, you need to gain at least 7 kgs to 11 kgs. So you see the weight gain chart is not so different, but their ranges are different. So, and then if you are obese, that is your BMI was above 30 when you were pregnant, you need to gain a minimum of 5 and a maximum of 9. If your BMI was, unfortunately, this is not communicated so well in our antenatal, as it is ignored. But again, if we could go to our antenatal clinics and be patient and actually ask these questions, I'm sure we will be answered with. So what else can you do to make sure that you improve your nutrition and your status when you're pregnant? You can do mild exercises, you can walk, you can swim, you can do mild cardio, you can do mild strength training. If you were exercising before, you can continue with the low intensity workouts. We avoid the high intensity because again, you don't want to overwork your body. And when you're working out, please listen to your body, listen to it, listen to how it is responding. Don't work out and faint. No, it's never that serious. The baby will come and you'll still be healthy. Just make sure you do it within your normal limits. People are different. Someone can actually run when you're pregnant, someone walking will be too much for them. So just make sure you do what is enough for you, but again, push yourself. Don't limit yourself with things like saying, oh, I am pregnant, there's nothing I can do, there's no way I can do this. No, push yourself. Do like jiskume. If you can walk, do like 30 minutes walk a day. It's very possible. I know it can be difficult, especially the 3rd trimester when the baby is so heavy, but you can still try. Just walk. Walking is enough. It's even therapeutic. Get good music, listen to your music and walk. Pole too. Just walk. Make sure you're doing something, and again, hydrate. Pregnancy is a beautiful phase in a woman's life, so we embrace it. We take care of ourselves. Take home notes. Never forget your prenatals. Make sure you start on them immediately you discover you're pregnant. And if you're planning to get pregnant in the next 3 to 6 months, start now. And also eating a balanced meal with all the macros. All the macros are protein, carbohydrates. We have the protein, carbohydrate. Make sure you do your protein. It's increased. Your diet is a high protein diet. That is a takeaway note. Your diet when you're pregnant is a high protein diet. And then moderate on the carbohydrates, because you need the energy. Your cells are actively dividing. Your mitochondria is actively working, so you need all the energy to make sure you meet all those needs. So increase your whole grains and healthy carbohydrates. Your fats, you also need them, and you need your macros. Your macros, and they're needed in small quantities, but they're very, very necessary. They're very, very necessary for so many things, like fluid balance, high hemoglobin, transport of oxygen, all those. You need all those. And then you also want to avoid these complications that come with poor nutrition status during pregnancy, like spina bifida. You need to reduce all those birth defects. They're all preventable with the actual good nutrition and supplementation. Talk to your healthcare provider if you're concerned about your previous nutrition before pregnancy. And again, also limit on drugs, alcohol, smoking, caffeine, teas, all those. Reduce on them. And then don't do detox tea, don't do weight loss plans, don't do slimming teas, don't do all the stuff when you're pregnant. Just let it be. Let it be when the baby is when you deliver and the baby is 6 months. You can do all your stuff, but for now, take it easy on yourself. Do your supplements right, rest well, walk if you can, and then have someone to talk to. Pregnancy can be also emotionally draining, and the journey can be also tiring, and sometimes it can be depressing. Look for someone to talk to. Identify someone you can share your concerns with, who you can share your worries with. Talk to them, share with them your concerns, and let's look forward to a healthy baby, because it all starts there. A healthy mama gives birth to a healthy baby, which gives rise to a healthy community, and that is what we want. And I hope you learned a lot from it. Thank you. Bye. Cheers.